Hi, everyone. It's Denise Brown from the Caregiving Years Training Academy, and I'm thrilled and delighted to be with my colleague, Joan Byrne. Joan is a life coach and one of our certified caregiving consultants. She's also a former family caregiver. Hi, Joan.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or whenever you're listening.
So Joan has graciously partnered with me about a program that we're launching in early 2023 on the day of service, which happens on Martin Luther King Day, which is January 16th in 2023. We thought it would be an opportunity for volunteers to step up and give 1 hour of meaningful time to actually receive the stories of caregiving. So this project is our Caregiving Listener project. And if you're interested as a volunteer, you can volunteer 1 hour virtually to receive 3 caregiving stories. And the stories could be from those who are currently caring for a family member or those who have already completed a caregiving experience. And for the day of service, we thought this was really a meaningful opportunity for a listener to actually help a storyteller release some of the weight of a story that can really bog you down because of all that you experience during a caregiving situation. So Joan, when I pitched this idea to you, you said yes. So why is this such a compelling project for you to be a part of?
Well, first, if Denise asked me to do something, I'm there. No, it spoke to me, and I immediately could see the value in it. When I was a caregiver, there really was no one that I could unload on. I couldn't tell my kids because they're kids, they need to stay kids. Couldn't tell my husband because he's picking up all the slack, helping to take care of the kids. And he's also, someone who he's going to try to fix it. And that's not what I needed. I couldn't tell my brother because he would also be trying to fix things. But he was also deep in the thick of it with me. So I didn't want to burden him. And, that feeling of not wanting to burden anyone else really led me to close down and not tell anybody what was happening, not tell anybody the things that just weighed on me. And even though I could journal about things, it's so different from actually saying it out loud. So when Denise brought this idea up, I could just see the value in that, a caregiver's got so much that they're carrying emotionally, physically, stress-wise, just time-wise, everything. And this is a really simple way to just take one little bit of that off their plate and maybe lighten the burden just a little bit. So I just thought it was a great idea.
And we want this to be a successful experience for both the listener and the storyteller. So we actually have a 2-hour training. It's called The Art of Listening, that anyone who volunteers to be a listener can take. We're waiving the cost of enrollment. It's a free training. It's 2 hours. You watch an archived video and then you join Joan and I for a 1 hour live training where you get to practice being a listener. We actually create listening sessions very similar to the listening session you'll lead with a family caregiver. And the goal is that you receive the story and then have a conversation about it. And that sounds simple, but as you hear a story, you might start to think, oh my gosh, I've got to take away the pain. I've got to end the suffering. I've got to share an idea or a suggestion. And the truth is, the listening is the solution. So through the training, you learn how to be comfortable simply listening and trusting the listening process, and to know that that's enough. What else would you add about the training, Joan?
I think what I would add is it sounds so simple that you're going to be listening, But I think the training's really valuable because it does help you go into it with a little bit more of an idea of just how to control your own reactions to the story. Because these are not going to be easy stories to hear for anyone. And it can be really difficult to not feel totally empathetic. And as Denise said, not to try to make people feel better. And so I think the training is really useful because you'll get some experience with that. You'll hear some stories. You'll be able to just kind of, go through it a few times. So we're not throwing you into the deep end by any means, because we do want it to be a good experience for everybody involved.
And for the storyteller, they're going to tell a 5-minute story. It could be a story that they've written and they read. It could be a story that they've thought about and jotted down notes, and they refer to the notes as they tell the story. Or it could be simply a story that they've thought about and they're just going to go for it and give themselves 5 minutes to tell it. And we'll give some guidelines around a good story for the storyteller as well. The goal is that at the end of a 15-minute listening session, the listener feels like, wow, I'm honored to have received this story. And the storyteller feels a sense of relief that they've shared the story with a compassionate listener. So if you're interested, we've got a group set up on caringourway.com, which is our community on Mighty Networks. And the group is for the Caregiving Listening Program. If you would like to be a listener or a storyteller, you can join the group and get more information about the training, including registering to join us for one of the 1-hour live trainings. You'll also get immediate access to the archived 1-hour training. And then Joan and I will support you. When you donate 1 hour, you're going to hear 3 stories, and you're going to impact 3 people in a way that really feels like, wow, this day of service was a day of meaning. Joan, I'm so excited about partnering with you on this program. What have I missed in terms of details or a sales pitch to get people to join us?
I really think you've covered it. And I think the way you just phrased that, turning a day of service into a day of meaning, really encapsulates what this idea is all about. It's a simple way to have a big impact on, as a listener, on 3 lives. And even as a storyteller, you could also be a listener. And you could, just by telling your story, you're also impacting others because you're showing them that being vulnerable and sharing what's going on is really a good thing to do.
And you just reminded me that if a storyteller is comfortable, we're going to record their story and add it to our Encyclopedia of Family Caregiving. So it becomes part of a collection of stories that we're creating about caregiving. It is your choice as the storyteller, whether or not you want it to be recorded and shared, but that's an option for you as well. Joan, I'm excited about this. I'm thrilled to partner with you, and I am looking forward to all that we do to make a difference on January 16th.
Me as well. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, if you're interested, join us on caringourway.com and then look for our group, which is called the Caregiving Listener Project. Okay, thanks so much. Bye-bye.